Hi everybody, welcome to Drishti Center. I want to welcome you to this class, and I have two beautiful students joining me for this recording. So I want to talk about something. This class is going to go public right away as soon as it's downloaded and edited. It's going to go public, Facebook, YouTube, anywhere. You know, everybody thinks about yoga or yoga teachers as this picture of health. We look trim, we look happy. And yes, majority of the time we are like that. We are trim and we're happy. But there's also the other part that is not addressed a lot, which is the part where we have aches and pains like everybody else in the world. And those aches and pains reflect almost an 90% of the people in the same places. There's two main places in the joints that go up and the joints that go down is your curves. If you think about curves in your body, you have the neck curve and you have the lower back curve. And what attaches to it is your head and your shoulders, and what attaches to the pelvis is your lower back and your legs. And from the pelvis specifically attaches ankle, knee, and all the joints that go into that chain. So if one of these curves goes out, the entire body starts compensating to one side or the other, and therefore you start with inflammation. That inflammation, if it's not addressed quickly, it becomes something chronic. I'm going to be honest, I have, from a car accident, for a trauma that I have in 2019, a really bad pinched nerve that runs from my shoulder and goes up to the neck. And it creates chaos. It creates many, many symptoms. And sometimes I don't know what to do. You go to healers, you go and see chiropractors, they go and adjust you, pinch you, and it just won't go away. So this is a class to manage pain, okay? We need to learn how to manage pain. It can manifest in a pinched nerve, it can manifest in a broken heart, it doesn't matter. Pain is pain. What to do with it? I will recommend you go and get your favorite playlist. I recommend something really deep as crystal bowls, Tibetan bowls on the background, so you can work also with frequency. That helps a lot to snap you out of this kind of lack of breath. When you're in pain, it's difficult to breathe. You're just in shock. Your body is not used to being in that state, okay? And next thing, I will want you to start down. We're going to lie down, okay? Please watch me first. We're going to need blankets, we're going to need cushion, and we're going to need one of these blocks. So when you lie down, you're going to do your blanket fold this way. Be careful if you have vertigo and then makes your vertigo spin. You're going to have to prop your head a little bit. If the vertigo happens when you're flat, you're going to put another blanket not thicker than that to support your head if you suffer of vertigo. Pinched nerves can create vertigo. Yes, that's my issue right now. I have vertigo. So we're going to lie down slowly. Put the blanket right underneath the lower back. Oh. Whew. Stay with your knees bent, feet flat into the floor. And when you are ready, stop thinking about where you're going to put your arms. What you're going to do is put the elbows close to your body and let one hand rest on top of the other, either on belly or up to your rib cage, but don't let the arms go away far. This is doing a little bit of traction into your upper back and neck by just letting gravity bring you down. Feel the weight of the body dropping on the floor. And we're going to try to focus on the first curve, going up from your head down to your feet. And the first curve right now is your neck. What follows above your neck is your aces, the base of your head. The joints that cover your brain, they're called sutures. And a lot of people, they pay money to tell you that they don't move. Actually, when you have a really big headache of it, there is a lot of tension in the muscles that surround the head joints, because they are joints, even if they are fused in brackets. When the brain gets swollen, there is certain move. There's soft joints so they can move and create compression or expansion. So if you suffer from migraines, headaches, this is an area of your body that I want you to bring attention and let gravity, let your head fall very heavy on the floor. And take a few breaths with the idea of your head being heavy on the floor. With this class today, we want to take yoga out of a box. The box where yoga for you means only workout, sweating, muscle, warm, heat. And when I think about yoga as cooling, soothing, healing, friendly, open, hugging, gentle, and see how, as the minutes goes, if you were in pain or you've been in pain, you start breathing again. Of course, you never stop breathing, I know, or we'll be in transition somewhere else. What I'm referring to is you start breathing in depth, in deep places where sometimes the pain, the survival mode makes you breathe shallow. So the first thing that we recover is the breath. Go down from the neck and the weight of your head into the curve that separates you from the ground, that space. And try not to flatten it. Yet we're going to restore and be mindful of that curve on your neck. Open and close your mouth a couple times. Move your jaw side to side, up and down. And noticing sometimes if your pain is in the morning when you wake up and is localized a little bit on the back of the head and the jaw, you are stressing your joint in your jaw, clenching. So the first answer for this is going to a dentist and they're going to give you a guard, right? Well, I'm going to go deeper than that to a more holistic approach. And why are you not aware of that stress that comes out when you're subconscious? And what can you do to make your life less stressful, less compressed, so your teeth doesn't have to grind at night? What can you do to bring that subconscious to conscious, so it doesn't come out when you dream, when you rest, when you restore? Yes, the guard will stop your teeth for having contact with each other, but will not take away the thoughts, the root of the root that is making you tighten your jaw. So as always, I challenge you to go deeper than the obvious and easiest solution. That is only gonna cure the symptom. And once you have this piece of information, instead of being locked with this reality check, take 3 deep breaths to do the best you can to be aware of what's taking your peace away. You might not have all the answers right now, but at least you're opening a new channel of finding out beyond the obvious. From the neck, you're gonna go down to the shoulders. The upper back. The elbows are close to you and your hands are heavy, so gravity can let the thoracic cage relax down onto the floor. With this very, very little elevation, so the weight can go up a bit into that most affected area if the neck is in distress. If you're spending too much time sitting, if you're spending too much time with your head tilting forward, this is just a good opportunity for you to let the shoulders be heavy and relax. The more and more you let the breath in, it's like an amplifier to let these waves on your brain to relax. Feel the scapula, the back of your shoulder, melting like butter in the floor. You can do this little opening whenever you want, in your bed, on a couch. I really much prefer on the floor, so the firmness of the earth can help massaging your back. Imagine the earth beneath your ribcage have little hands and is receiving you, massaging you, and your upper back and scapula. Take 3 deep breaths, trying to bring the breath all the way up to collarbones. To chest. Imagine little air pockets underneath collarbones. Imagine an air pocket that you want to feel in your sternum, in your throat. And if you feel like you need to let go with your mouth open, you let go. Trace your spine down. Get into your pelvis. Go above the pelvis, and there is another big curve. Your lower back. Sitting for long periods of time, as much as being super overactive, both extremes can take you into stress of your lower back. Will a very tough Pilates class take care of it? Will a very tough vinyasa take care of it? Probably not. Probably step number one is being aware there is an unbalance in your life. Too sedentary or too active? What is your poison? And why don't you try to invite awareness, consciousness, and let your body act as a storyteller, that tells you where is the pain. And whatever the pain is a reason behind. So this class is just for you an opportunity to go into a deep meditation to know the root of why it hurts and how it hurts and what can I do to heal beyond the Advil, beyond the Tylenol, beyond the hot and cold, beyond the arnica gel. What's happening in my life, that pain exists there. Feel your lower back. Feel your waist. Feel your pelvis. Feel your sacrum. Feel the front part of your pelvis, your belly. Feel the groins. Go around the hip, which is the next joint to trace. Are your hips tight? Are your hips too loose? Are your hips in need of a replacement? Are your hips beginning to give you indications of an alignment that shows up on pain, on anywhere around that 360 circle that surrounds trochanter, major trochanter, hip socket, and hip ball? Can you identify where, how? Does it pinch a nerve? Does it show up in your quadricep and your IT band, in your hamstring as a pinch nerve? Is it constant? Is it there every day? Is it there every other day? Where? How? Go deep and ask your questions instead of taking something that will distract the body of this sensation. And you're being the healer right now from your body. You're being this soul doctor that we're starting to step number 1, self-diagnosis of what am I doing? There's no blame in this game of getting to know you better. There is no judgment in this path of self-recover health. The only word is responsibility to do better for yourself so you're not hurting all the time. Again, take 3 deep breaths for this piece of information. And forgive yourself if you have been doing something that harms you, knowing that it harms you. Forgive yourself. It's okay. If you want to be compassionate with others, you gotta begin with your own compassion. So right now you breathe in compassion. We talked about legs, we talked about IT band, hamstring, quadriceps, pinched nerves. And there is the knee, another curve, not a major one, but it is there. And yes, probably if you go in order of appearance, first or next, then lower backs, and then it goes to knees. It makes sense. It's the next big joint that follows the pelvis. And your knees are just a reflection of how your hips are. If one leg is shorter than the other, if the tension is being put in the right or the left place. If this constant sitting or this constant doing is irritating your ligament, your bursas, the fascia that surrounds it, the muscles that attach it. Maybe you're extending too much, maybe you're bending too much, maybe you're doing nothing. But if your knees are hurting, you gotta know why. And if you're not changing it, again, same question. Why are you inflicting this pain on you? Are you running? What are you running from? Are you sitting, hiding? Why are you hiding from? Why can we not learn that we sometimes need to run? Other times we need to walk. Other times we need to go uphill. Other times we need to go downhill. And yes, there is times where you need to sit down. Why ego does not like that information. And it just wants to do, or just not do nothing. Talk to your knees. Feel your knees. And if they feel like gravity is drawing them into the center so they can rest against each other, let them. Maybe it's a different place of letting go. Maybe one that you really, really need. Support one joint with the other. Take 3 deep breaths in this moment. I invite you to do this class in a quiet space. So if you need to moan, if you need to cry, if you need to laugh, if you need to scream, you give yourself a space to do so. You don't have to be perfect all of the time. Travel down from the shins to tibia and fibula to get into ankles and feet. Achilles tendon also being a reflection of your pelvis. Irritation on the heel with bone sprouts being again another reflection that your pelvis is out. Feet that has plantar fasciitis or inflammation on your feet. Cramping toes, cramping foot, pain on the top of your feet and your phalanges, pain in the ankle, curve, inflexibility, arthritis in your toes. All of it being a reflection of how your biography is stuck into you right now. And how sometimes you just need to remember you have feet. So all of your nervous system goes right now in your feet. Forget about other areas. Feel your toes. Feel the balls of your feet. Feel your arches, the heels, the ankles. Notice if there is tingling sensations of as you're turning all your awareness into your feet. And all this time that is being weighed on them as you're with the knees bent, and maybe even the soles of your feet feel like a little bit burning, awaken, alive. Be grateful with your feet. Be grateful of how many places they have take you on, how many journeys you walk in them. And yes, it might not be perfect. Sometimes they get a little bit crawly and bony and bunions and swollen, but they are your feet. They're your mobile device that take you to one place to the next. Therefore, they need your respect, your love. So right now, you take 3 deep breaths and you're grateful to your feet. And without guilt, you offer them an apology because we often forgot about them. Paying very, very, very little attention to them. Now you're going to start moving your hands a bit, your feet a bit. Do not move that blanket, and you're going to bring the knees to your chest. Hug the knees deeply for 5 breaths. And feel how this thoracic cage straighten even more because there's more gravity in it. I'm sure you can feel it. I'm sure you're aware of it. Right now you're in a very deep state of awareness. Each exhalation of those 5 breaths, you try to bring the knees closer, either to the shoulders or together to your chest, whatever feels more natural to your anatomy. And now place your hands close to your body, hands facing down. And just bring your legs up to the ceiling. If you feel that the blanket is too thin, you bring your feet down to the ground, lift up your glutes, and do another layer underneath the pelvis, which is gonna do this a little bit more simple for the hamstrings. Ah. And you can extend your arms a little bit farther away. And because the hips have been raised, you can even move now to the other guy if there is space and comfort into that cushion. If you don't have one, your full blanket just is more than enough. So please, if at home you don't have these fancy yoga props, just get blankets, get beach towels, use your imagination so you can be on a good place. And the invitation, if there is room on your pelvis and on your hamstring, is to bring the legs a little bit closer to your face, doing a wedge with your propping a little bit higher than the lower back, entering the waist. So it's more gravity into your upper back. The next variation of this restorative or gentle might not be for everybody, especially if you have pinched nerves on your shoulders that burns into your tricep and into your forearm. But you can try, and if it doesn't work, you come back to this alignment with arms beside your body. If you feel like it, you can just open your arms in a cactus. And when you do cactus, you're opening your back like an open book with weight on it. And it might feel very, very pleasant. But the elbows still not far away from the rib cage. Elbows a little bit close and the palms facing up to the ceiling and the legs up. I recommend, if this is too tough on your back and if you're in excruciating pain and this is too demanding, you do this against the wall so the legs can rest on a wall into a more 90-degree position. If you have certain mobility on your back, if you have certain mobility on your hamstrings, you keep your prop like a wedge and you bring your legs in this very gentle modification of Halasana, plow pose. Still not Halasana, not even close, just giving you a similar sensation. Take 5 breaths in here, please. Deep, 5 long deep breaths. Start noticing if during this class one side on your upper back, on your shoulders, is feeling more stress than the other. Probably, if you notice, if it's right or left, this is where your asymmetry is. And my next advice is just to bring breath, an amplifier to these sensations. Again, this is yoga for your nervous system. This is yoga for coping with chronic pain syndromes. Emotional pain in your body. Anything that is taking you away of being the best version of yourself. Dealing with it in a very peaceful and loving way. Take another inhale And on the exhale, hug the knees to your chest one more time. Oh, beautiful. Ah, bring your feet down to the floor. One leg at a time, carefully as you make this change of pressures, because that all bring different pressures on your body, on your head. Remove the pillow from underneath your body, and you're going to try to bring your back flat on the ground. If it doesn't work to have it flat, you immediately return to the thin blanket underneath you. This thin blanket underneath you. You don't have to. And what you're going to do is recognize your back flat back into the ground and bring the knees to your chest. With those knees into your chest, you're going to do 5 circles out, going a full 360 of your pelvis. Inhaling to open, exhale to close, center and in towards the chest. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now stop right here. Hold the knees into center if it's possible. Hip replacements, do not recommend proning the knees in and pressure towards your chest. You can have them slightly open. If your hips are not replaced and is only tension because you don't have inner rotation, then it's okay as long as you don't feel like you're going to disjoint your pelvis. And now we're going to do 5 circles inwards, going in, 1, out. Go with the breath. Very little movement in this class. Very little. Finish the 5th one. And now you're going to finish with the knees open like your shoulders. And hug the knees towards the shoulders, open wide, each hand into each knee or fibula or tibia, and just squeeze them in. Hug the right knee into your chest. Let the left leg go out and straight. My goodness. All the sensation on that front part of your hip, the groin, the ligament that attaches. And with that single knee into your chest, do those 5 circles. First out, single knee, 1, 2, breathe, 3, 4, and on the 5th one, prone your knees sideways just a bit, stabilizing your foot into the leg that is straight and opening that same knee that is bent, that arm sideways, and look to the side. So you're not going to go as deep as a twist. You're going to do a half twist, just allowing the buttock to come off the ground and having your foot stabilize into your leg. Oh, yes. And now look over to that hand and start working into that neck. Sometimes less is more, you guys. And when you're in a state of aggravation, this might be just enough. Plenty. Beautiful. Helpful. Those are the words that I want you to find instead of challenging, ripping apart, painful. Those are words that are not allowed today, right now. you find friendly, giving, abundant. Now return the knee to your chest, slowly, slowly, slowly. Hug the knee nice and deep. Take a deep inhale. And on the exhale, bring your head up. And with one hand, immediately support the back of the neck. Stabilize here. Bring your head down. And now place the leg over the knee to do that figure 4 with your legs right here. You're gonna bend your heel towards your glute and you're gonna hug either from the front part of the tibia or from the back in the hamstring. Those are the two places you can choose. And you're gonna do a light squeeze, light squeeze. You don't want to again feel that your hip is deforming. You just want to do a kind opening to piriformis muscle, gluteus medius and maximus and minor, and opening on the outside of your hip. And you breathe. And all this time, those elbows are being bent and close to the rib cage, so they don't open and create tension on your neck. Take the last inhale. And on the exhale, you allow your leg to go down, both knees go down. Just change legs. Hugging out the left knee into your chest and bringing the right leg straight on the ground. Oh. Take a couple moments there, just feeling how pleasurable it is to have the leg straight. What happens if my legs looks like this? Because there's so much tightness into it. You put that block there and support your calf or Achilles tendon. That's a great little variation. Anything you can do today to make it better, please go ahead. And start the circles like you did in the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and into the other direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and just hug the knee to your chest for a moment. And now place your foot onto your quad, extend your arm sideways, the other hand on your knee, and very carefully just twist enough that your hip come off the ground. Stabilize to not go as deep, and look sideways. Now that foot on your leg is the perfect kind of stopper, so you don't go deeper. Be mindful of the relaxation of your shoulder. Be mindful of what's going on into your neck. Breathe. And the next inhale, bring yourself back to center. Hug the knee to your chest, and on the exhale, bring your head up and support your neck with one hand and stabilize the pressures. Whew. Hold. Bring your head down. Bend the leg that is straight. Put that left ankle on top of the right knee. Hug the knees to chest. Hold from the front part of the shin of the back of your leg. Whatever feels more comfortable, and start bringing it into your chest, into your heart. Oh. Breathe. We're shooting in a little town of Mexico in my garden, so if you hear noises from the town, maybe it will be a reflection of a noise that is coming up and hunt you a little bit in these quiet classes. Instead of judging it, instead of judging your mind, to just observe it. Sometimes we don't have control in how many neurons make contact creating a thought, but we do have control in not getting engaged into every single one of them. Especially the ones that have no positive dialogue. Keep working into your hip. Again, try not to pull too hard. Breathe. And be done slowly. Bring the leg down into the floor. Release both legs into the ground. Stretch your legs. Find that cushion. And place it at the end of your ankles with a little bit of traction into your legs. One more time. We're going to bend the elbows and put your hands closed. Those elbows closed are eliminating any possibility and tensions of ligaments, tendons that connect thoracic outlet with ligaments on your arms and shoulders, especially for all the students that are feeling tension. Shoulder that connect to tricep that burns into the front arm, into the carpal tunnel nerve. Stay with your eyes closed and you begin Shavasana now. Letting go. Resting. Relaxing. Having a quiet moment for yourself. Hopefully you did listen to me and put some nice, relevant vibrational music on the background at home. And if you chose to be silent, what sound healing is the universe bringing to you? Wind, birds, noise, Start to move your hands and feet. You don't need that long of a relaxation. An entire class that is being a prolonged nidra, prolonged shavasana. Only if you feel like, oh, I need to be here for at least 10 more minutes, then you will listen to your body, especially if for the first time in a long time you're pain-free after this experiment. Then you stay where you are and enjoy it. Hug the knees to chest carefully. Hug them in nice and deep, nice and deep. Oh. Circle, open your eyes. Okay, guys, when you do a class in your back the entire time, it will be a change of pressures when you sit down. So it's absolutely normal you feel dizzy. But in order to prevent this, you're going to help your head up with your hands. And that will bring you a little bit of reset on your spine. So just pick up your neck for a moment right here. Good. Now put it back to the floor and roll to whatever side you feel comfortable. And you're going to make a small pause. Again, touching the ground and then pulling yourself up to sitting when you're ready. Whew. Do 5 deep rolls with your shoulders, like somebody's grabbing them and move them. I'm going to take my shell off so you can see better this movement, you guys. And now forward. Oh, it's like this lubrication. Turn your head over to the right. Half moon forward, turn your head over to the left. Oh. And now bring your head center. 5 breaths here. Bring your head up. 5 breaths here. And now hands into the front. I understand this might not be a class for everybody. Or maybe you don't want it to be for you, but it may be needed to be. If you know somebody that can be help for this class, please share it. Will be go public, will go accessible to everybody. Thank you for tuning in into this yoga for pain management. Hopefully you were hurting somewhere, it helped you. Om Shanti Shanti. Namaste. See you next time.